Hey, what is up guys? DRC3 here, back with another My Hero Ultra Impact video, and today we are going to be talking about the upcoming In the Shadows Gift of Tenacity Recruit, featuring the brand new UR white-haired Dobby and the new SR Endeavor alongside a new SR and UR memory. We're going to be taking a look at their kits, their abilities, what they can do, and deciding whether this banner is worth pulling on or not. So to start it off, we are going to be taking a look at the SR memory towards the plan. When equipped by a villain, increases characters max HP by 30% and skill impact by 30%. Increasing max HP is good for survivability, and increasing skill impact is okay for damage. And then once per battle gives character the ability to evade 2 times when HP is below 30%. So the only place I could really see this memory being useful might be like in some weird circumstance where you have a climax battle and you have a villain and you need them to survive. This will give them survivability, but as far as like VE Tower and Ultra Arena go, the two main forms of content in the game, this is not going to be a super useful SR memory. So for this memory alone, you can pass, but like the art is really good. It's not the best art, obviously we've seen better art, so like overall the art, the abilities, it's not a super amazing memory, right? So for this SR memory alone, I would pass on the banner. Next we have the new SR Endeavor, and the characters on this banner, I'm just going to warn you right now, make this banner very hard to pass up. So his plus ultra move is called Ignited Arrow. It deals 500% damage to a single opponent. High chance, 70%, that is really good on an SR character, of burning the opponent for 3 turns. Increases skill impact by 40% if the opponent is a villain. An increase of 40% on skill impact is actually really good on an SR character too. Like this is a really good plus ultra move for an SR character. The first action skill, Flame Knuckles, deals 300% damage to a single opponent, increases characters plus ultra gauge by 30%. That's amazing, really good for VE Tower. When used in a successfully executed skill chain, that's also amazing because that's a technical hit. So that's plus ultra and a technical hit in one action skill. Skill impact is increased by 40% if the opponent is a villain, and a cooldown time of 4. That's all like really good. So you're going to hit even harder against a villain, and then having a cooldown time of 4 makes him super viable in VE Tower. But it gets better when you get down to his auto skills. His second action skill is called Flash Fire Fist Hell Spider. It deals 250% damage to all opponents. Medium chance, 40% of burning the opponents for 3 turns. A medium chance is 40% is good for an SR character, right? But then that is a 40% chance of burning all the opponents. So that's really good if you're going against 3 opponents. Like in VE Tower, you have a medium chance to burn each one of them, and so you're probably going to land a burn, and that's actually really not bad for an SR character. That might be better than the Red Endeavor in some ways when it comes to his burn percentages. Like this is really good for an SR character. Increases character skill impact by 40% once again if one of the opponents is a villain. Doesn't matter if you're attacking the non-villain, as long as one of the opponents is a villain, you're going to get an extra 40% skill impact, which is really good as well. And there's quite a few VE Towers with villains, so that's easy to achieve. And so a cooldown time of 4 on this as well makes Endeavor, SR Endeavor, like phenomenal. Really good. But it gets better. The first auto skill, All Out Firepower, increases characters' critical hit rate by 40% when HP is 50% or higher. Well, so until your health drops below 50%, you're going to have a 40% crit rate, which is insane. Not to mention whatever memory you add on, you could have like a 70% crit rate on this Endeavor. So he has not only technical hits and status elements and plus ultra gauge up, he also has critical hit rate. Like this is one of the best SRs I think we've seen in a long time. Like he is actually that good, and I'm not just hyping him up, he's ridiculously good. And then the second auto skill, the Path of Number 1, increases characters' critical skill impact by 30% if Shoto Todoroki is on the team. So he'll get to hit even harder if Todoroki's on the team, and we run Todorokis all the time in VE Tower. We run Fantasy Todoroki, Green Todoroki, sometimes we even run Purple, Yellow, and Red Todoroki, not as much, but it's easy to achieve that, right? And then also shortens, here's the icing on the cake, character's action skill cooldown time by 1 every 3 turns up to 2 times. That is really good. So that turns these cooldowns into 3-turn cooldowns, which is insane. That's really really good. Like this Endeavor is insane, guys. Like, and then if that wasn't enough, like for an SR, like look at these arts, look at this art, look at this. That's really good for an SR. I really like this art right here. I like this better than the UR Endeavors, purple or red. I really like this right here. Like this art is insane. So overall, talking about Endeavor, looking at his kit, looking at his art, him as a character in general, is it worth like putting in a few dailies? Obviously, you should be summoning on your dailies on this. Is it worth putting in a few silver tickets? It might be. It might be worth putting in a few silver tickets. As far as summoning goes, don't ever, summon for an SR character. But if you have the extra gems to spend, you're a pay-to-play player, then yeah, go ahead, do a couple of summons. But if you're a free-to-play player, I do recommend probably saving. Like, you'll get this guy at a later point. He has an SR character, you have a chance of pulling him later, so save if you can, because once again, the fantasy banners are coming back. This banner starts on the 15th. The fantasy banners start, I believe, on the 21st, so just a few days after this banner with Endeavor and Dobby drops. And so you got to kind of weigh out what you want more. The fantasy banners are going to include Kaminari, Jiro, and Ida, so you'll have to, what's really going to be the deciding factor is the UR memory and the UR character, which we're about to take a look at. The UR memory gaming and driving, the art is really cool. I like this art right here specifically. Like, I don't know who came up with this, but this is nice. And then, so the effect, when character is burning, increases character's critical skill impact by 60%. Okay, that could be really good on the purple Dobby if you already have him. It's going to be phenomenal on the new Dobby if you get him, and critical hit rate by 50%. So you're increasing your skill impact by 60 and critical hit rate by 50%. Once again, this is DX, so this is max level, but that is still an insane amount of crit rate. That is really high for a memory. And then additionally, it also adds on this effect, also reduces burning damage to character by 40%. So it's going to reduce whatever burning damage the purple Dobby or your yellow Dobby takes. So that's also super useful. Like, this is a beautifully amazing, really good memory for either of the Dobbies. It will help you in VE Tower. I could even see it helping you in Ultra Arena. Like, it's that good. I could see Dobby being used in Ultra Arena, like with a Kirishima, to protect him, because he does have an attack all, which we'll talk about here in a minute, that has Pierce. But it's, yeah, this memory paired with the Dobby, this memory was obviously made specifically for him, but it has so much value. Even if you don't pull the new unit, as long as you have the original purple Dobby, it has a ton of value. So a really good memory. Art team's killing it. I would pull for this memory personally. Like, this is like the first time I've actually looked at a general pool banner and been like, yeah, I really want that memory, because it's actually going to be really useful. And so I hate that they've done this to us. They're going to rerun fantasy at the same time they put out a like banger general pool banner. Like, this is so good. All right, but let's take a look at the character, and this is where they are literally killing me, because everybody, I feel like, has been anticipating or waiting for like three things, Vigilante Deku, the white-haired Shigaraki, or this Blue Flames of Hell Dobby. Like, these are the characters we've been waiting for, right? So this character has been really anticipated. Really, he's going to be big, he's going to be good. And so let's just take a look at his kit. His plus ultra move is called Flash Fire Fist Prominence Burn. I love that. Deals 500% damage to all opponents. Okay, that's great. The percentage is a little bit low compared to what you would see on normal UR characters, because it is an attack all, but that does not matter that it's low, because you'll see why here in a second. That makes it a little bit ridiculous. High chance, 90% of burning all opponents in Hellfire. So that means you're going to do Hellfire damage to them. And what Hellfire damage is if they have a burn on them, which they will, because this Dobby automatically inflicts burn with his auto skills down below, which we'll talk about. But if they're burning, however many turns are left on that burn, they take all that damage in one turn when you proc a Hellfire. So they're going to take 3 turns worth of burn damage from your Hellfire, pretty much almost guaranteed 90%, which is ridiculous. And then additionally, this skill ignores any defense they might have. So this skill has Piercing Shot. So the fact that this has Piercing Shot means, with the Kirishima meta that's going on right now, you're going to potentially be able to ignore Kirishima's defense and take him out of the equation along with anyone beside him, because this is an attack all that's going to proc Hellfire on everybody, which is insane. So this move is actually going to be ridiculous, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this character fits into Ultra Arena. I can't say for sure whether he's going to shake up the meta or not. I would love to see him shake up the meta. Well, you don't know till you have him in the game to try him out, right? But as far as PvP goes, I think it's going to be interesting to see. And then as far as PvE goes for VE Tower, proccing Hellfire on your plus Ultra is really good, and then having Piercing Shot is also good because there's some VE Towers that have barriers or some VE Towers that have extra defense. So that's going to make this phenomenal as well. Like this character is going to be an all-around character, very, very good for all forms of content in the game. Like he's going to be really hard to pass up, I'm telling you right now. So his first action skill is called Spiraling Blaze, deals 400% damage to a single opponent, also increases character's critical hit rate by 30% for 3 turns. Increasing your critical hit rate as well as having status elements, as well as having piercing shots, as well as having a 3-turn cooldown is a little bit broken. He's going to be insane. Increasing critical hit rate by 30% is really, really nice. So yeah, he's something. His second action skill, Blue Corruption, deals 300% damage to all opponents. So here's our attack all. High chance, 90% of burning the opponents in Hellfire. Another high chance, 90% of burning them in Hellfire once again, which is really, really good. And a cooldown time of 4 turns. Like good cooldowns, status elements out the butt. He's got increased crit rate. He has Piercing Shot. He is just going to be phenomenal, but it gets better. It gets better. It just continues to get better. Like just like Endeavor, it continues to get better with the auto skills. The auto skills do not let me down. Like these action skills look like they don't have much to them, but when you combine them with these auto skills below, it means a lot. So his first auto skill, Cynical Smile, increases character's skill impact by 10% per turn. So that's going to be a lot of extra skill impact, up to 5 times. So that means 50% skill impact by the end of the 5th turn, which is insane. If you couple that 50% skill impact with your, what is it? Your extra skill impact up here. Where is it? Oh, I see what I was thinking. If you couple that 50% skill impact along with the memory that I was thinking of, you get an extra 60% critical skill impact. If you have this memory plus this auto skill right here that gives you an extra 50% skill impact, you are going to be hitting people for massive amounts of damage. Like, so this auto skill along with this memory going to be a little bit broken. He is going to literally decimate whole teams. And then increases characters plus Ultra Gauge by 10% after receiving an attack from an opponent who is burning. All his opponents will automatically be burning, so he's going to gain 10% extra plus Ultra every time he gets attacked, which is really good. And then burns all opponents for 3 turns every turn, which is that really, really good effect right there. Every turn they're going to be burning, and then burns 1 character for 1 turn every turn. This effect cannot be nullified or canceled. I assume that just means this part right here, burns character for 1 turn every turn. I talked about this in the last video, but it could include the burns all opponents for 3 turns that can't be nullified or canceled, which in that case would be absolutely broken and ridiculous. But so far, let's just recap. This character has Piercing Shots, he has status elements, he has crit rate, he has plus Ultra Gauge raise, he has skill impact raise. He is going to hit so hard as a character. Like, he's going to be ridiculous. He's going to be good for like so many things in the game. And then his second auto skill, Bold Command, when character is burning, lowers chance of all allies becoming frozen or getting frostbite. Reduces burning damage to all allies by 20%, so that'll include himself, which is good, and decreases speed of all opponents by 30%. Decreasing speed of all opponents by 30% is actually really good. That's just like the icing on the cake. But then this is something that's going to be overlooked, but this is actually really useful. Lowers chance of all allies becoming frozen or getting frostbite. Well, as we know, Fantasy Todoroki is run still quite a bit in Ultra Arena, so this will be useful going against him as well. So overall, Dobby looking really, really good for PvE. Like, no doubt that he's going to be super strong in my mind. As for PvP, Ultra Arena, I think he could be good, and he's looking good on paper. Like, looks amazing on paper. He's looking like he's going to actually shake things up a little bit with Kirishima being in the game. Maybe hopefully make it so he's not so OP, but it's hard to say until we get him in the game. So yeah, but taking a look at his arts, of course his arts are phenomenal. This is his unawakened art. His unawakened art is great, but really I think the big draw here is his awakened art from Dobby's dance. Like, this is amazing right here. I love this art. This is actually so great. So in terms of this character and in terms of the UR memory, I think the URs make it very hard to pass up this banner. Even with the fantasy banners coming afterwards, I would say personally, if you have all 3 fantasy characters already, they might not be DX'd, right? Okay, fair enough. You might want to go for DXing, but I think having 1 copy of this character is more valuable than getting 1 copy for a DX of one of the fantasy characters. Now, if you don't have one of the fantasy characters, let's say you're missing Kirishima, let's say you're missing Ida, or you're missing Jiro, I would say probably pull for the fantasy character first, try to get them, because it is a 1.5 times rate banner, it is an Impact Fest banner, and that character is probably going to be more valuable to you because you're not going to be able to pull them for a while, whereas Dabi is a general pool unit. But for a general pool unit, as far as general pool units go, this is a character I feel like you're going to want right away, because I feel like you're going to see him being used in the game right away. And I think other people will be pulling for him as well. At least the whales, I feel like they'll definitely be trying to, if they can, 130 this guy, because most of the whales, right, will already have their fantasy characters DX level 130. So they're going to put in their gems on this banner. And if you want to be competitive with them, competitive in arena, competitive in VE tower, you are probably going to want to pull for this character. So I guess the question is, are you free to play or are you pay to play? If you are pay to play, I would try to get 1 copy of this if you already have a copy of all the fantasy characters. If you are free to play and you are missing some of the fantasy characters, skip this banner, save for the fantasy banners because they are 1.5 times rates. You have a chance not only to pull the fantasy characters, but also to pull any of the previous general pool characters. This general pool character will not be on that banner because he's running at the same time, right? But all the other general pool banner characters should be. So if you are free to play, skip this banner, summon on the Impact Fest, hope that you get some extra units, hope that you get the fantasy characters, but you guys just got to do what's best for you. Personally, I will be pulling on this banner as well as the fantasy banners to try and get DX copies. So make sure you guys go down there, hit that like button on this video, hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on so you guys can see when I pull for this guy, when I pull for the fantasy characters. And if you guys enjoy the video, please go down there, leave me some comments about what you guys thought of this character, of the SR Endeavor, of the memories, and let me know what you're going to be pulling on. Are you going to be pulling on this banner, or are you going to be pulling on the fantasy banners, or are you going to be pulling on both? And thank you guys for watching. Peace.